What's up, everybody? It is day 388, and today we're going to talk about 8 home upgrades that do not pay off when trying to sell your home. There are a bunch of upgrades that will pay off, but we're not going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about the 8 upgrades that do not pay off if you do them to your home before you sell it. So, unless you're like, if you bought a spec home and you're wanting to do some upgrades or something, you really want to watch out for what you're actually putting into the house, because a lot of the things that you put into the house are going to be more personal things, and it's not going to be good for the masses of what you're trying to attract. You're going to end up with a limited buyer pool of people to buy your house instead of like the mass majority of people that buy your house. So number 1, extensive landscaping. You don't want to get super crazy on that. Everybody does like some landscaping. You want the house to look nice. You want it to be trimmed up. You want some color. Nothing too crazy, like some sod and some plants, some nice fresh plants in the front yard, a little bit in the backyard, and of course like the natural trees that you have. That's going to do a lot for the house. Now, if you go out there and spend $15,000 on some exotic plants, flowers, and trees, that's not going to increase your property value by $15,000, because of the fact that most people aren't even going to know what kind of trees those are, and they're definitely not going to know what kind of flowers they are, and that they're not going to care. They're like, oh wow, those are some pretty flowers, good, and they're going to move on. They're like, oh, that's some nice landscaping, and they're going to move on. It's not going to increase the value $15,000. Number 2, lighting bling, like giant chandeliers in your living room or in your bathroom, or in the dining room or something like that. Like, you don't have to get super extravagant on that, because of the fact that those are personal preferences too, along with the landscaping. You're going to be like, we came into our house and we actually took down this like giant chandelier that was hanging there, and we put up a ceiling fan in the dining room because we turned it into an office. So that didn't add any value to us. Meanwhile, the person selling the house might have been like, look at this giant chandelier. It's a beautiful piece. Why don't you want it? Why doesn't it add value to my home? Because that's a personal preference to the buyer, or the seller of the home. Don't go super crazy on, like fancy under cabinet lighting, over cabinet. Put some nice stuff in there, but you don't have to get super high dollar on it. You don't have to get super crazy with the landscape lighting. A lot of that's just personal preference too. So remember, don't go crazy on the landscape lighting. No lighting bling, nothing too crazy, especially when you're selling the home. The latest electronics is number 3. Latest electronics. You don't want to go super crazy on those either, because a lot of times is when you have a home that's built like surround sound all through the house and things like that, unless you're leaving the actual receiver, most people aren't ever going to go buy that receiver, and most people don't even know how to use the receiver, even if you do leave it, because you don't have any instructions with it. And the other part of it is, it's like a computer. As soon as you get the latest model of a computer, it's obsolete. All right, I'm back. A little 15-second break. Apologize about that. But we were trying, for some reason my internet went out in the office, or the bedroom, whatever it's called. Okay, so like I was saying, basically, like when you buy a computer, the next year the thing's obsolete. There's already something bigger and better, faster, and it's the same with electronics. There's something always gonna be bigger, better, faster, like I said, it's not gonna bring any value to it just because you got this drop down screen and this projector going. Most people don't even want that. A lot of people don't even have TVs anymore, and so just buying that extra stuff, like, have it for you, but take it with you if you're going to sell the house. It's okay to have it in your house, but take it with you. It's not adding any value to it. We did go look at a house a few months ago that had a projector and a drop down screen, and the guy was like super proud of it, and and my buyer was like, well, that's cool and all, but I'll probably never use it. Probably have to do something else with it. So it's not for everybody. It's a specialty item, and it's like personal to you. Number 4, a wine cellar. I might get some heat from the wife from this one, but a wine cellar is not going to add any value to it, because not everybody drinks wine. There's probably a great majority out there that just never drink wine, maybe just a beer drinker or something like that. And there's plenty of people that don't drink at all. So why would they buy a house with a wine cellar in it when they could have that giant wine cellar as storage for other things? Instead of having to go pay for a storage shed, they can go ahead and buy that. Most people don't even want to buy that much wine that it takes to fill a wine cellar, So, not to be negative about it, but if you have a wine cellar, maybe think about changing it into something else before you go sell it, because you're going to drastically reduce the amount of people that are going to want to look at your house because of that wine cellar. Number 5, I will get some flack for this one because it's a chef's kitchen. I love a chef's kitchen, but not everybody loves to cook like I do. And the fact is that with the hustle and bustle, like actually last year, everybody kind of slowed down. People started cooking a lot more because restaurants were closed. And you guarantee some people were like, man, I wish my stove was better, or wish I had more counter space or things like that. But now that things are getting back to normal-ish, people are still going out to eat. People are not cooking as much. Like I've seen a post one time, this person put out there saying that they ordered HelloFresh and they were upset that it still took like 45 minutes to cook it. But then, that's a typical time to cook your food. They said they didn't have time for that. So that kind of lifestyle is totally different. Our lifestyle is we like to cook. We like a home cooked meal. We'll go out every once in a while. So what's important to me is the kitchen, and that's not always what's important to the other people. So if you go out there and if you got some old outdated appliances and things like that, buying some new appliances, some upgraded modern appliances is going to really help out the value, but doing a whole kitchen redesign is going to be personal preference to you, and it's going to end up not adding much value to your home. It'll add a little bit, but not a whole lot. And the fact is that a lot of times you're building the kitchen to your standards, not what the buyer wants in their standards of a kitchen. Number 6, extravagant upgrades. Any type of opulent or lavish upgrades should be avoided. Unique or ornate lighting fixtures, fancy hardware on doors or furniture, specialty tile, or water features like lawn fountains could decrease the value if not done right. And, especially water features. How many times have you gone to somebody's house that they have this water fountain sitting out there and it's just filled with weeds because they didn't know what to do with it, because that's not their person. That's not what they wanted. They didn't want that, the sounds of the water fountain going out there. They just got tired of it, or they didn't want to pay for the water. All sorts of different things that could happen. So don't go out there putting some extravagant features out there, or even these extravagant waterfalls coming down off the pool. That's all personal preference. It's up to you. You could do it, but a lot of times it's not going to add much value to the actual home for the next seller. Number 7, my personal favorite is wall-to-wall carpet. We have carpet in this room and we have carpet upstairs, and as soon as we can, we're going to rip all this carpet out, put either some LVP down or some hardwood floors. We don't know yet, but there's so many people that do not like carpet. I have one buyer that every house we look at, that she says once she sees carpet, she's like, okay, I got to rip that out. She's got allergies, and the carpets keep so much of the allergies in there. Now, if you already have carpet, unless it's super stained up, don't even replace it, because maybe do a flooring allowance in the price of the home. So that way they could change out the carpet if they want it, or they could upgrade it to some wood or LVP or something like that. Don't go changing the carpets. But if you have carpets, leave it in the in the bedrooms, reserve it for the bedrooms and not in the traffic areas like the hallways and the living room, things like that, especially in the kitchen. Definitely go with some wood or some tile, something like that. It's going to really increase the value there. Carpet is going to probably decrease the value. It's going to look dated, and they're going to be like, what happened to this house? And number 8, the last one. Do not forget to do maintenance projects. Keep those up to date, especially the fact that just because you put a roof on, you put a new hot water heater in, you gotta redo the outside of your home, or you gotta redo your septic tank. Those kind of upgrades, they're not really upgrades. They're just maintenance projects that you should have done to the house anyways. So you spend $15,000 on your roof, you can't add $15,000 to the price of your home. It's just a normal comp at that point. If you don't do the roof, you need to decrease $15,000 off the comps in the neighborhood because of the fact that the house needs a roof. It has to have a roof, and that's just basic maintenance that you had to do and that you should have done to keep it up to date with the comps in your area. So, routine maintenance is not an added benefit to raising the price of your house. Routine maintenance is routine maintenance, and you need to do it. So do not skip out on it because it's going to bite you in the butt, and it's going to come up during the inspection. You're going to have to pay for it anyways. So that's what I got for today. Go out there, make somebody smile, and have a wonderful day. Thanks a lot. Bye.